Bing. We're live. Here we are. It is Monday in now British wintertime, although they don't call it that. It's 11 a.m. here in the UK. It's now moved into the UTC time zone. We have Sam, we have Brent. Brent, how are things going with you?
Yeah, good. So what have I been up to? I started to look at async ticket for listing votes, but Redis is not well, yeah, it doesn't want to play well, unfortunately.
On your computer?
No, just in general. So trying to query, it's okay if you know exactly what the key is you want to query.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to pull back like a group of keys based on a part of that key, for example, like just for the channel.
Oh, right.
It's a bit problematic.
Okay, right. There's no way to like list the existing keys.
Yeah, didn't explain that well, but yeah, basically it's not as if you could query it like you could a Postgres, yeah, or something like that. So yeah, I'm wondering whether or not, because we know we're potentially moving away from Redis, is that we park that ticket until we've got the new API in place, because then it will be simple to do.
Indeed.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I was just looking up. Had you seen this? There's something about a keys command in Redis.
I think I did spot that, and that was what I was thinking. Is you could load everything into memory into an array and then search through it. Oh no, that's not the one that I found. Actually, that does look slightly different.
Yeah, I mean that's from a while ago, and they may have removed it from update for Redis 2.8 and above. Potentially dangerous command.
So you can do it through the CLI. So I was looking directly at the API rather through the RESTful interface rather than through the command line. So maybe,
yeah.
Possibility.
But yeah, I think it's not really what Redis is designed to do, is it? And so probably rather than pushing too hard on that, what you say, it's a sensible thing to park that and readdress that once we've got the forget what it's called now. The API all working, and there'll be a sort of a single central source of truth.
Yeah, I might look at that though, because that does look interesting. Because it might not be that difficult if this does actually work through the REST API. But
yeah, it's always good to know what the range of options are. Good show.
Cool. Yeah.
Anything else going on?
Yeah. So I've still got my local support issue, which I need to probably get some help on at some point.
Yeah, we can maybe look at that at the end of the Scrum. Yes, that's this. Yeah. I remember the one. Yeah, go
on. There's again for local support. There's the test for the flash message, which I'll implement, but I just want to get my local issue fixed first.
Sure.
I've made some good progress on the charity data actually. So I've scrapped the Python scripts and I've rewritten them. So that I'm taking the BCP files and converting them into ready for either importing into Postgres or MySQL. And I've got some ideas on that, which we can probably talk about on my next face-to-face on how we can maybe structure those sessions and expand on what I've already done. And then my focus for the next few days is I want to try and make some progress on the Michael Hartle tutorials, because I've been neglecting those the last week or so.
Right.
So I'd like to make some more progress on them. So I'm going to hopefully make some time for that. That's me really.
Yeah, good show. Lots of great stuff. Yes, no, let's definitely have a look at that local support blocker at the end of the Scrum. Nagalim has joined us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Just feel free to listen in. We're just doing our Scrum. Brent's been talking about what he's been doing and issues there. And thanks so much for getting involved with Will and help run the Scrums last week while I was off. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no worries.
And so on to me then. Yeah, so I've had a good break. Although I was kind of like I was working on the house. I was sort of stepping in and out and sort of keeping things sort of ticking over. I don't even remember. It's been a busy weekend. But what's going on? So this morning, I have got in. I used my blog-driven development time to work on website 1, and actually this issue that we had of when you start a Hangout and you ping it, and it like if there was a similar Hangout the previous day that had a YouTube associated with it, and it will like basically post the wrong link into Slack. I think I've wrapped that in a test this morning. I think I've got a fix, which is wending its way out. So hopefully that will be on production by tomorrow, and that will be one less confusing thing in a forest of confusing things. Other things, I've been trying to improve the contributing doc on the website 1. Was doing that this morning, and then main thing is now trying to work out what's going on with all the time changes when we do things. The MOOC has gone live. There's lots to sort out there. There's all sorts of administrative issues. What's going on? I don't think I'm blocked by anything. What have we got? It's Monday, so I think I've got the autograders meeting coming up in like 2 hours. I know that there's all sorts of issues there that are blocking individual instructors, so we're helping those. And then what is it? It's Monday, and I'll probably speak to Armando later on about the course. And I can't think of. I'm just going to try going back in the saddle after being away for a week. That's me. And Nagalim, feel free to if you'd like to report on what's going on. Maybe you've just started one of our courses or what have you. Feel free to just either say hello or just in the chat. You can say what you're working on, but no problem if not. And feel free just to hang out otherwise. So I think that's our Scrum. I guess I think I've got all these marketing related stuff that I should be doing, but anyway, sorry, go on, Brent.
I was going to say, you mentioned about the MOOC. Is that the one that I was talking about joining? Is
yes.
that right? Okay, I need to register for that today then.
So that is now live, and I don't feel that you have to complete the Michael Hartle tutorial in order to make sense of the system, sense of that course. And the course is now it's unlike in previous ones, it's self-paced, so all the material is made available and will continue to be available until February, end of February, and then it's going to like have a month break and then restart again. So maximum flexibility, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I might just start that and put the Michael Hartle piece on. On hold. But I'll sign up for that. Now, interestingly, I've just run my tests and they passed, and I haven't done anything. I haven't made any changes.
Yeah.
This is really bizarre. There's something not.
Yeah, this is this phenomenon that my wife really hates, is that whenever she tries to show me something technical that's not working, and if I stand near the machine, sometimes I think it's just the sound of my voice can, it is extremely, do you want to share your screen?
I'm just
guess, have you rebooted your computer since you last ran the test?
No, I've not done anything to be fit. Well, not that I can think of anyway. Right, let me share my screen, and what I'm going to do is run the whole suite again then.
So there's Scrum over now. We're now in we've been quite efficient today. We're now in the fixing any issues zone. Do you have the failures that you were getting earlier in that same terminal window? Scroll up.
Probably. Here we go. So this was the previous run.
Right.
If I go to the end, they're all there listed at the end.
No, so those ones about the measle monk. That certainly used to be when I would see that error. That would be due to people having not ran Bower install or more recently NPM install. But obviously you've been running and you've been experimenting with different versions of NPM and Node, haven't you?
Yeah, and that's another issue now. When I try, and I'll probably show you once this is finished, when I try and run npm install, I'm getting a metadata error.
Are you?
Yeah, or I was.
I'll find.
And I've got the same versions of Node and npm that you're running at the moment, because that's what I switched to. But this looks like it's all running. This is bizarre.
And so I think I've just pulled up. I've got the. Can I make this bigger? Yeah, this is the right. And you've got the Yeah, right. And you've got everything here. Fantastic. Yeah, that's exactly what we need. And so,
Yeah, there's the Bower errors I was getting.
mm, 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 mm.
Yeah, and if you change the name to local support all lowercase, it then works. But
Mm,
I haven't made that a permanent chain. That was just something I tested.
mm. Yeah, I mean, the background for these errors that we're looking at here, this I expected to find CSS marker data, there were no matches. My memory of that is that, or this one, I expected to find CSS measle 3 times, but there were no matches. I mean, they're like, we have JavaScript that, makes sure that the different things appear in the Google map. And, if the appropriate versions of that are missing, then they just don't display, and then these tests just completely fail.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, this looks like it's passing fine.
Sometimes computers, they just need to know that I'm there, because I was off last week. A lot of computers got nervous and they're like, is he gonna come back? And
yeah, it's really annoying this, because I say I've been playing and trying to get these tests to work for a week now, and
no, it just goes to show, doesn't it? I mean, I think all the computers themselves are like, they're playing some sort of game with us. This is some sort of like, in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like the mice. We thought we were doing experiments on the mice, but actually the mice were doing experiments on us.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So the computers, they're seeing how we react to these. It's like, oh, I'll make this test fail here, and there's no reason at all. Oh, let's see if we can go. The interesting thing that I would be tempted to do, I mean, is to do a git status there and see what, if any, differences that you kind of have.
Yeah.
I know you've been doing that all along anyway. It's what was I thinking there? I mean, the other thing is that we've got this npm node issue. There was a person who was reporting on certain versions of npm node it failing. I think Ebba and Sigu had a go at working on gosh, what's it called? Locking down different versions, and they didn't get any errors. And also saying it was also difficult to lock things to particular versions unless you're at least on node 5 or something. Yes, I need to connect those two tickets together. Nagalam's just been writing in the chat. He's saying that he's just enrolled in the Berkeley CS1691X Agile Development using Ruby on Rails, the basics. Welcome. Yeah, we got Nagalam. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. I'm one of the co-instructors on that course, and it has just started up in its new self-paced mode, as we were saying. Brent also keen to do that course, and so the projects that we do here, like this, the local support one we're referring to, were all built by people who are graduates of the Agile Development using Ruby on Rails course, so it's interestingly, you've got an option. You can, if you want to try and dive in to projects that use some of the things from the course, the Ruby and the Rails, you can do it in parallel, like the UC Berkeley students do, or or even Brent, who's like dived in before he's even started the course. Goodness me, what enthusiasm! What's the things there? Dun, 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 dun. But of course, there's no rush. A lot of people that they do the course, finish the courses, and then come and get involved in projects. I see you did have like sort of that looks like an intermittent fail there, doesn't it?
That's definitely a different error to what I was getting before.
Yeah. You can also, I just my imagination, I think the tests do run a little bit faster if you run them in the format progress mode. I have, I'll grab it actually. I've got it set up so that when I can type BEC, and that's aliased to bundle exec cucumber in the format progress mode. Maybe share those. Oh, I can't be there. Let's just go a bit more. I'll just put that in maybe in your premium chat, Brent. There's a set of aliases that I use.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. I'll take a look at that. Yeah, I think it's getting towards the end now.
If you just open a new tab there, will you be in the same directory and you can just type git status?
No, but I can certainly.
You're using iTerm rather than terminal, right? Yeah, so I think the key thing that I should do here is find the. Let me get the link to your story. Quick, close that one and find the one about Node in general. Right.
Yeah, so
go into that.
Yeah, so the only untracked files and changes are to do with the VCR stuff.
Okay. So you've had a complete pass there for some reason. I mean, I guess it's one of these things. Maybe it's a timing issue.
Yeah, because they're not the same problems I was having before.
No.
Definitely not. I mean, it was this map homepage map feature was where all the failures I was getting were. But that's, I mean, I'll just run it again just for the off chance. But
I mean, I think. I mean, we've got the issue here.
I mean, I'm going to run npm install actually now and see if I still get that same meta error.
Yeah, I mean, you might want to clear away before you do. You might want to just clear away those cache files, just because it'll make. Yeah, so it's.
I can never remember.
It's basically VCR_Billy_caches:_reset.
Gosh, my computer's running really slow.
Watch pongs and all that.
Oh, here we go. Yes, that's they've passed anyway that time. But yeah, let me just clear those out. Oh, that's just when I was. Yeah, that's just my local .mvmrc file. Just to. Yes, if I do npm install, let me just check what.
Node let's look at the Node version of Node and version of npm we're on.
Oh, wait a minute. I've opened another browser, isn't it?
So, you know.
Yeah, because if I go on. See if I go back in this window, because that was the new window, the window that I was using.
Right, the test was
was running
6.11.12, right?
Yeah. But yes, if I'd now do npm install, yeah, I'm getting those same errors still.
Okay, and now that is in the context of having just switched to. Right, that's having switched to a new window and being. I mean, I noticed that I'm on Node version 6.9.1.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're on a newer version now because you sent it me in a
chat
did I?
Window. I've updated it since then.
Yeah, because I was on 6.11.2 is what you was on, I think.
Oh right, yeah. Let's have a look at me over here. Yeah. So I'm on 6.11.2.
Yeah, and 3.10.
List. Yeah, so I've got different things. npm -v. And so, so if I now do npm install here, I have this warning, but not that Bower issue.
No.
I don't know, is there a version? Can we Bower -v? No, I don't even have. I guess if I run here, Bower -v, I've got. Can you check the version of Bower that you're running?
1.8.
Yeah, so I'm on 1.7.7. So that could be the issue. I mean, I think Bower on my machine would have been installed a long time ago. I mean, I think this is the interesting thing about the whole node setup is that until recently, you were always installing the latest versions. And I think now in the latest version of Node, they actually have like a lock file, which is like, right, this is the versions that you're using, and you check that into the repository. And like gemfile.lock, it actually, you know, ensures that everybody's working on the same set of stuff. But it wasn't like that, and I think isn't like that in the older versions of Node that we're using.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'll keep moving forward because it, yeah, I don't know what's resolved this for me, but obviously it has now. Yeah, I mean, I imagine that, yeah, they've gone now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these. It's difficult to know. I mean, this is the big issue that we have with Node generally. With the Node modules, is basically excluded from the Git repository, and so while we might be on the same, you know, commit, there's potentially we're using different libraries under the hood, and there's not a sensible way of sort of checking it.
Yeah, because I did destroy all my Node modules and reinstalled everything, but
right. So in between it running and it.
No, that was a few days ago, and it still, that didn't seem to resolve it either.
Interesting.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely working now. So
yeah, well, I think one of the things that can be an issue there is having this issue of different versions of Node and so on, and it's the same with branches. And it's like in that situation where if one doesn't have the branch tag highlighted in the command line, it's so easy to get confused about which branch thing you're in. So it might have been that you were like blowing away the Node modules and reinstalling them in one version of Node, but not, who knows? I mean, it's,
yeah.
I mean, we like to think that there's a rational answer somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the annoying thing, isn't it? It's fixed, that's great, but I'd like to know why it's fixed.
Why. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're still getting this thing that npm install is sort of failing now, or it's just getting a warning message?
Well, I think it's actually failing because it's just.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's reporting that.
Because usually so if I was to go in and so if I'm trying to think what the file was.
If you look at my screen, I mean, I get a not dissimilar thing. I mean, it starts npm install, and then I get this warning message here. But maybe if there are no modules to install, that's just like the output that it gets to. I don't know.
Yeah, you're probably right, actually. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, but so I guess what I would love to do is I'd say for the local support thing I was mentioning that testing, don't, like, it is totally borderline, and feel free to make that, you know, the associated test or a beginner friendly refactoring ticket. In some ways, I think the more interesting thing would be if we can like get this ability to lock the version of Node and be running with more recent versions of Node. Like, for example, we had a person come in and he had like, you know, just out of the box had Node 8.1.3 or whatever on his system and encountered these weird issues. Like, ideally, we would be on the, you know, unless there's something in our project that prevents us from using the latest version of Node, we should be on the latest version of Node, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, that was the interesting thing, because prior to all of this, so up to the point where it started to fail, I've been running version 7.4 something for, you know, for months, you know,
right.
and with local support it was working. And then all of a sudden I started to get these errors, and that's when I've started to, you know, so I guess if I was to so if I was to change to, so NVM default, alias default, I use, sorry, yeah. If I was to run those tests now, I wonder if they will.
And you might want to run npm install there as well.
Yeah. so it's the same issue.
So in the background, Nagalim has read getting started and he wants to join the Slack channels. We do have another background issue that seems to be grumbling on, that when people sign up for, oh, it looks like you're getting the errors there.
I'm getting the same failures now, yeah.
Yeah, so in the background we've got that people signing up for agileventures.org, we were having some problems with them not automatically being invited into the Agile Ventures Slack environment, which I had been working on a fix. It's difficult to know whether it's fixed or not. If Nagalim has signed up for Agile Ventures and not received an invite, it might mean it's still not working. Of course, you know, the Slack invites can go into the what is it called? Into the spam filters. I do have an open ticket with Slack about trying to make some more sort of reliable way of making sure that everybody's invited. Nagalim, if you're having trouble, you can always just put your current email address into the chat here, and I can send you an invite directly. Give me your email, and I can invite directly. I'll also in the background there. So I guess is it looking?
I'm just going to rerun it now, back at the older version of Node.
Yeah. I mean, is it looking like that? Yeah, maybe that the problems are associated with what is it? A particular version of Node. In the background here, I'm going to invite. Yeah, so I've sent an invite. So certainly looks like, Nagalim, that you haven't received an invite in the past. So one is sent now. Did you sign up at agileventures.org, Nagalim? Just if you let me know, or you did join Agile Ventures with a GitHub account, that makes it seem like the problem is not fixed. So that's good to know. That's great feedback. Thank you, Nagalim. And I've got my short-term fix of having to like manually run the updates. What do I need to do there? So for that, in order to do that, I need to Rails C -R. I need to go and grab the latest new users from Agile Ventures and send them some invites. Are you getting any consistent pattern there now, Brent? You're right there, Brent. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, apologies, I was on mute. Yeah.
Oh, no worries. Any consistent pattern emerging, or?
Well, yeah, so we switched to 7.4 Node and we started to get the errors again, but I only got 5 failures.
So there's some intermittency. Yeah. But so can you switch back and make the errors go away now?
No, that's what I've just done. So I switched back to version 6.11.
Yeah.
Rerun npm install, and now I've got 8 errors. So this was previously, before we switched to 7.4, was running with 0 errors. And this is the behavior I've been experiencing for over a week now. Is that sometimes it would be 4 failures, sometimes it'll be 8, sometimes it'll be 9. It's never been more than 9. But
yeah, and they've been this. I mean, it makes me wonder with MVM. Is there something? Is the problem maybe that the switching process has, like, so for example, if we're working with RVM, right, to switch Ruby versions, like the gems for those different Ruby versions are kept in completely separate places, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if you switch, however, when we're switching Node versions, what happens to the Node modules? Does if we've done npm install with NVM with Node version 7, right? That's loading files into the local node module subdirectory, right?
Yep.
So it then makes me wonder: is the process of switching between different versions of nodes inconsistent, if you know what I mean? Like if you go on.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, but I did run npm install after the switch, so in theory,
I mean, what about if you did? See, it might be that. Well, this is what you tried before. Is you could do rm minus rf node modules and then do a complete reinstall, right? In this version, is
Yeah.
it worth doing that now? We could at least, if we do that, if you do, I mean, you could even move the node modules directory, and rather than removing it, you could like move it to like node modules old, and then we can even, like we could be swapping them backwards and forwards later on if we wanted to. In the background here, I'm going to try and invite all of the latest users into. Let's add me at once. Let's pop those in there. Let's see. Oh, look, there's a little thing about how to migrate away from Bower.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just invited the last.
And I've got a newer version of Bower now because it's installed 1.8.2. Right. So if I do, check what version of Node I'm on. Yep.
So now you're running then a subset, right? The map feature tests, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, the ones that were just failing.
Okay.
Yeah, failed again.
So this is having just run npm install on Node version 6, 10, 11.
Yes.
And so it certainly seems like that warning message we're getting about the uppercase logo, whatever it was, is not preventing node modules from being installed.
No.
So the node module. I mean, I guess. So would the other thing? I mean, well, I was speculating that was related to the Bower version. I mean, the other thing that we know here that we definitely have different is that I'm on Bower 1.7.7, and you're not. Although, yeah, I mean, it's sort of I sort of have a little spider sense thing going on here, just saying like, and
we get a different number of failures. Sorry to interrupt.
No. Well, I think it's just it's going to be until we can move into a situation, right, where the node libraries are locked down. It's going to carry on being random. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but can't you lock them down in package.json?
You can to a degree, so you could try, but the problem is that there's like you can lock down, say for example, the top level libraries that you could say there, and you could go and say that you wanted specifically Bower 1.7.7 in order to. But the thing is that then Bower might have dependencies, right? So it will pull those in the RVM gem file setup or whatever, or using bundle. Whatever happened to be installed when you ran the install process would then also go into the lock file.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You see why it's not as but this is the more recent version of Node will provide a lock file. So I feel like the action item is, I mean, you could make a change there quickly to like make that, just make it 1.7.7 and rerun npm install, and it could fix it, but there's, if we think, let's say there could be like 20 other libraries that Bower depends upon, and the versions that I have of them are the ones when I previously installed Bower, like 12 months ago, the set that you get could be completely different, and it could be there that the problem is occurring. So that's got you 1.7.7, hasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting. And yeah, you're also getting that graceful FS.
Yep.
I mean, the interesting thing there, and so npm install. I wonder that does npm install by its nature cause us to go on and run Bower install? I guess it.
Yeah, same theme, same
yeah.
area, yeah.
So I would say, I mean, I'd say that the key thing here is to try and get us onto a version of Node that locks down the issue, that can lock down all of the dependencies and works. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can be going round and round, I think, in circles, trying to match whatever the setup I have is, but we don't have a good record of what it is because there's no way to lock it.
No, true. But I don't think there's many Node modules installed anyway, is there?
Well, that's an interesting. Let's have a little. Well, and that's interesting.
Bower. It's only Bower.
Yeah, it's only Bower. But then I think there's Bower pull in its own set of things. Whereas it's only dealing with Bower. I mean, really, we should be away from Bower. Is I think.
Yeah.
But so what's the then? So we've got package JSON is just so it's only Bower.
Yeah.
Right. That we're using here, and npm install. But then, and then we've got Bower.json. All right, we've got a single dependency on Google info box here.
Yep.
And so then I've got notes on here that the
an info box is probably what's causing this issue, isn't
oh,
it?
absolutely. Oh, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it goes into vendor assets, Bower components. We've got I guess we've got Google info box, which itself probably maybe depends on, we've got these like JS rich marker and GBAPS marker cluster in there as well. I guess these things, I guess, are these also in git ignore? We've got Bower in there. Bower.
Yeah, it is. Look, vendor assets, Bower components.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it feels like it might be easier just to check this in.
I was just thinking the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm not seeing anything in here that indicates that Google info box requires anything else here. I mean, I think I may just have these. And what if you look in vendor assets, Bower components? What have you got?
Just Google info box.
Yeah. So I think I've probably just got that was like previous versions.
Yeah.
Google info box. What have we got here?
Just so
it's a single file. I mean, it is, this guy's thing. I mean, it's. I guess we hypothesize that some versions of. I mean, I'm trying to think why, because the JavaScript, in principle, like this JavaScript is running in the headless browser that Capybara is setting up for us. Do you know what I mean? Like Phantom.js.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think about why
I've got the same version as you looking at this.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if the npm install is a red herring, and it's just that somehow the version of Node that we have installed is affecting the version of JavaScript that runs in Phantom.js or something. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense.
Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels to me. Yeah, so all that hypothesizing about different strange versions that are not locked down, we've actually got the same version under the hood.
Yep. It does look like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you upgrade to the latest version of if you upgrade to the latest version of Node, what versions of Node have you got locally? NVM list. I mean, you could try installing. I mean, look, what's the latest version of Node?
8 point something, isn't it? I think.
I think so. Node.js 8.8.1.
So if
Why
I
don't you
do
do npm install 8.8.1? I mean, the other thing about blowing away the Node modules is it's not blowing away the info box, but at the same time, as far as we can see there, we've got the same version of the info box. So it's just a question of, and we're both using Phantom.js. I guess the question then becomes, we could ask the question, what version of JavaScript does Phantom.js run?
Oh, we've got some errors now. So it doesn't work with the version of Bower by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, because I hate to put, I know you've already burnt a lot of time on this, that message that we were getting about migrating away from Bower.
Yeah, so if I go back to
You were mentioning Yarn yourself. I mean,
well, Yarn replaces npm, doesn't it? It doesn't replace Bower. Yeah, that's the error.
you might want to do a search in the thing for Bower. I should go and make some, see if we've got people coming in. But yeah, I have a bit of a feeling that it may be an indefinite time sync. This and what we, rather than trying to patch up our like out of date thing, is if we get. Oh, I see actually somebody here. It was on this page. While Bower is maintained, we recommend Yarn and Webpack for new front end projects. Yarn's advantages, security and reliability, and Webpack is support. So yeah, I mean, I posted that link in the chat there. I mean, I think it's then there's kind of a research issue here, which is like, how can we get onto a sensible JavaScript package management thing that will work with our current system?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, like you say, we probably need to migrate over.
Yeah, still don't understand what's, because those failures that you see. I mean, we used to get that, like if Bower still hadn't been run, like if that what's it called?
Google Info Map thing
was just not present at all.
Yeah.
But you've clearly got it present.
It would appear so, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And it's the same version that you were running as well, by the looks of it.
Or at least the heading is the same version. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's for all the trouble that the interesting thing would be then, can we check it in? But would then the issue go away? Anyway, I think we learned some things there.
Cool.
Good stuff. I guess I'll catch up with you maybe a bit later today.
Yes, hopefully. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, and lovely to meet you, Nagalim. Great that we've got you into the Slack. And yeah, welcome to Agile Ventures and the Agile Development Using Ruby on Rails course. Bye for now.
Speak to you later. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.